Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm here with a quick one for you. Just giving you a heads up, letting you know of some cool stuff that is out there. Kickstarter worth checking out. This is Fighters of Europe. If you have watched my recent series, then you have already heard me mention this one. It has just gone live today. I was covering their previous game, Fighters of the Pacific, and loved it. Had a good time with it. Not perfect. Right? No game out there is perfect, but I definitely had a good time with this one. Carrier battle, planes going back and forth, torpedoes in the water, bombs dropping, cool stuff. And I gotta say, cost effective for the amount of game that you get in there. So let's do what we usually do with the Kickstarters we're checking out. We'll watch their quick little video here, and then I'll show you the other stuff that comes in it.
This epic battle and much more with Fighters of Europe, an accessible but historically accurate war game set in the skies of war-ravaged Europe. In Fighters of Europe, dive into the fury of air combat over Europe during World War II. Each aircraft is represented by a token facing one direction, with a high-altitude side on a white background and a low-altitude side on a green background. Flip the token to represent the change in altitude of an aircraft. Players take turns activating aircraft, one group at a time. When activated, a plane must spend all its movement points to perform maneuvers. There is a variety of maneuvers available to most aircraft, including slides, climbs, and dives. Fighters can even do split S maneuvers to turn the tables on less maneuverable opponents. If, at the end of its movement, an aircraft places an enemy aircraft in its field of fire, the targeted aircraft must dodge to avoid the shot. If it cannot dodge, for example because it was already activated this turn, it takes 1 point of damage.
Now, see, real quick, this is one of the things that really makes this game stand out, is you don't hear them talking about dice, right? And go watch my series, you'll see it, but there's no dice in this. There's no rolling, there's no card drawing, there's nothing. It's just get the enemy in your arc of fire, and if you do, you cause damage. It's just that simple with it. So when you're in situations like this, if the plane hasn't activated, it does get a chance to dodge out of the way. So it's all about positioning. It's all about the dog fight, right? Trying to get your planes in the most advantageous position, which is generally tailing, your opponent. But especially a lot of these bombers, you don't want to get directly on their six because they have rear guns, right? And they can shoot you. So it's all about getting that right position. It's a dogfight. It's what you would expect. I think they did a good job having a simplistic game. I mean, the rule book's only like 4 pages, right? It's not long by any means, but one that simulates what they're trying to get across relatively well. Let's watch the rest of the video.
Damage. Aircraft have different types, different speed, resistance, and field of fire characteristics, and some can even carry bombs to attack ground targets. The player with the initiative can choose to let his opponent play first. Initiative is determined at the beginning of each turn and goes to the player with the least handicap. Handicap is determined according to the number of aircraft groups, their altitude, and any damage they suffered. Each scenario includes different objectives that bring in victory points and affect the circumstances of each battle. The core game will take you to the skies of Britain in 1940 for the most famous air battle in European history. The expansion, Battle of France, will allow you to lead French air forces in their heroic but ultimately doomed attempt to stop the German Blitzkrieg machine in 1940. Meanwhile, the second expansion will allow you to control P-51 Mustangs and B-17 Flying Fortresses to challenge the last generation of German interceptors, including the infamous ME-262. Fighters of Europe spans a total of 20 scenarios ranging from 1940 to 1945 and includes numerous legendary aircraft to bring you hours of furious air wargaming.
Yeah, I gotta say again, the game, the amount of game that you get, right, for the cost, they really are doing a good job of this, keeping the cost down. And I think by having the units be tokens, right, the cardboard tokens, right, the planes and whatnot, they're saving so much money versus other games that have minis in them. And while the minis are awesome, yeah, everybody loves the minis. This, you get so many more planes, so many more different types of aircraft and ones that you can use. And you don't have to worry about painting them. You don't have to worry about putting them together. And it costs you a whole lot less. So that's definitely cool. That's their video. I'll scroll down a little bit and you guys can see here, pledge without reward. Yeah. Do the $1 so you can, or $2 rather. £1, €1. Yeah, it's a euro. One whatever, so you can get the pledge manager later. Definitely do that if you don't have the money for it now, because this is one that is worth getting. The basic pledge is about $50. That's not bad, and that's just the core game. And I don't think it gets stretch goals because it doesn't mention any stretch goals there. But if you want just the core game, $50 is not bad. That is a respectable cost for the amount of gameplay you get. And then about 80, 90, depending on what currency you're using for the game with all the expansions. Has the core game, the France, Battle of France against the Reich, and then the stretch goals get added to that. They do have some early birds, and it doesn't look like the early bird gets anything different. What's different? Okay, they get a metallic initiative coin. Cool. All right. I'm fine with that. That's fine. They get a little coin, and then the retailer pledge. So scroll down, see what backers say. They say it's awesome. I like it. And I'll tell you this, it is absolutely compatible with Fighters of the Pacific if you want to use those planes. Because I was just playing Fighters of the Pacific, and everything looks like it matches directly up. The size, the hexagons, the types, right? The angles of fire and everything that they have. So if you already have Fighters of the Pacific and you want to use those in this, I see no reason you can't. I mean, they're in two different theaters of battle. There's some historian type players will get butthurt over that, but it's your game. Have fun with it. It comes with the 8 boards. Now, when you put together all of those boards, they hold together well, right? They've got like the puzzle piece element to them. They are double-sided, and they all together are roughly the size of a big poster, right? So was it like 3 feet by like 2.5 feet, roughly, something, I forget the exact inches. Oh, here it is, 33 by 25 when you have all of them put together. So fairly substantial. If you've played war games, it's about the general size of a regular war game map with all of them put together, and they hold together really well. Looks like we get a bunch of Spitfires and Hurricanes, and now the previous one did not have multiple types of fighters, right? So you had, well, at least my copy, because I only had the base version of Fighters in the Pacific. They had the Wildcats versus the Zeros, and then there were different types of dive bombers and torpedo bombers in the core game. This has different types of actual fighters. So you got Spitfires, you got Hurricanes, the 109s, and then medium and heavy bombers for the Germans. And this is interesting. They're changing something up because all of these tokens are the same that came in Fighters of the Pacific, with the exception of there are doubles now on the damage tokens. That's interesting. See how that plays out. There's no torpedoes, but you wouldn't expect them anyway. It's just bomb tokens. I would expect some of the bigger bombers, stuff like this, right, the Heinkels, to be able to maybe carry 2, 3, something like that at least. One bomb token wouldn't be enough. We have city, railway, target tokens, things like that to put down. The rule book and scenarios and the reference cards, which are nice, I gotta say. And the first expansion. Okay. I don't know why they went with the French planes. I think I would have made a different choice, but okay. That's their choice to make. I don't know as much about the French planes. The 20, the 520, 12 of those things. Whatever this is, the 406, I think. You have to forgive me. I don't know much about the French planes. And then we are adding in the BF-110s and JU-87s. Ooh, cool. Very nice. And was it Donitz 17, some more bombers. So a couple more different types of bombers, or actually all of the German stuff is really bombers. I know the BF-110 was like a fighter bomber, but... And more bomb tokens or damage tokens, which is nice. That way you're not going to run out of those. More different types of targets like bridges or rail heads, things like that. And then, of course, the reference sheets and scenarios. This one I really am looking forward to. Looking forward to trying this because I love this. P-51 Mustangs, the P-47 Thunderbolts. Gotta love that. And of course, the Flying Fortress. That is awesome. And then Fokker Wolves, right? You got Fokker Wolves and the first jet fighters, right? The 262s. That is just awesome. They're going to be so fast. I am anticipating that these jet fighters are going to be like glass cannons. They're probably going to have very good armament because they did have cannons. I don't think they had any machine guns. I think it was nothing but cannons on them. So they should be fast in the game and weak, right? Probably one hit will take them out, but it's going to be hard to get a hit. I would be surprised if they weren't like 4 or 5 as far as the movement. And the Fighters of the Pacific, the movement that the planes had was either 2 or 3. So the bombers generally move 2 hexes. The fighters can move 3 hexes. I would anticipate these fighters being able to move something like 4 or 5 hexes, which would be incredibly quick for this game. Ooh, cool. Triple bomb tokens. Yeah, I have to see how that is represented in game. And then more railheads, factories, bridges, things like that. More scenarios and oh, we can kind of barely see. Let's scroll this in just a little bit. All right. Oh, did I lose it? Here it is. Look. All right. Can we see it? Oh, yeah, here it is. Look, yeah, they got 5 movement. That's what those little propellers mean right there. I am surprised, though. They've got 2 armor. I would not have given those 2 armor. And look, they can fire out 1 hex farther with their cannon. So they are beastly. The P-51 Mustang has 4 movement. The 262 has 5, so it's just a touch faster. But other than that, they look relatively similar. There's some extra traits. I can't see what those traits are. Fokker Wolf looks like it's almost identical to the P-51 Mustang. Yeah, as far as stats, I think they might have the double damage. Some of the aircraft that have cannons get double damage directly in front of them. And it looks like the B-17 has double damage all the way around it. You can see right there, that means that pretty much every hex around that token is an area that it can fire at. It's got 10 hexes worth of targets that it can hit. So let's scroll this back out a little bit. Those have to be like a double. Yeah. Comparing the size of this token, it has to cover two hexes in game because that's the only way you can explain them having 10 hexes that they can fire around. Oh, that's cool. Definitely looking forward to having those flying fortresses in game. That's going to be really cool with the fighters trying to zoom in on them, the Fokker Wolves, the P-51s. Oh, I'm going to have some fun scenarios with those. As far as gameplay goes, gameplay is simplistic. It is really easy. You can learn how to play this game in just a couple of minutes. The player aid that shows you the movement, that's it, right? You can move, slide, right? So you can turn, slide your aircraft, dive down. There's 2 different levels. The only big thing about it is that they don't let you be squirrely. So if you're turning left, you can't do something like left, right, left, right, left, right, you know, doing a zigzag, stuff that a plane probably wouldn't be able to, at least not these aircraft wouldn't be able to do in real life. And same thing as far as up and down. You can't go down and up and up and down, back and forth between the 2 different altitudes. And then again, you see here what we're talking about as far as the fields of fire. Bombers tend to have smaller fields, like they might have 3 hexes behind it, but only 1 hex in front of it where they can actually put out damage. But it's like I was saying before, if the aircraft hasn't activated, they get a chance to dodge. They can dive down or turn or slide or whatever. In this, they just advance forward. Now they're out of the field of fire. But if they've already activated, then they take damage, and you signify that with one of the damage tokens, which is kind of cool because it shows the smoke. The only problem with those things is those damage tokens are rather big, right? So they can kind of get in the way during the game. They look cool, but they are rather big. And then again, showing here the different fields of fire. So stuff like your bombers might have a little bit of fire directly to the front, but they have a lot around them, so they're not fighters. They're not supposed to get out there hooking and jabbing, but if a plane gets in front of them, they can put some hurt on them. There are rules for solitaire play. I played through a whole scenario, a couple of carriers going back and forth at it. Solitaire, they had it in the Fighters Pacific, so I guarantee you they're going to have it here. I would see no reason they wouldn't. And the other stuff. And I do believe they have as a option, a add-on. Oh, this is that Metal Initiative marker they were talking about you get with the early bird. If you want to, you can get the Fighters of the Pacific. But I think you can only get the all-in. So like you can't get just the box. From what I saw of the add-ons, you would have to get pretty much the all-in pledge if you wanted to get Fighters of the Pacific at the same time. Yeah. Here it is. See, the complete collection, which I would love to get that, but I've already got Fighters of the Pacific. I don't have Battle of Midway or Coral Sea, any of the stretch goals. I missed that, unfortunately. Not missing this one, though. And then it's showing some stretch goals, some extra scenarios, some more bombers, UK light bomber, British bombing run. We've got some French recon patrols, more scenarios. So it looks like it's going to be a combination of planes that they're adding into it. Ooh, the Lancaster is the next one that is getting added in. And then they do have some videos. I tried to get in contact with these people beforehand, but sadly, I did not hear about the Kickstarter in enough time to get a preview copy. I would have loved it. I wanted to show off Fighters of Europe, but it's all right. I've got it back to now, just like you guys do. So I'll get a copy when you guys do as well. And so since I haven't been saying anything, they don't know me. I haven't done anything with them. You guys can take my word for it when I say I like the game, and I think that's it's a Kickstarter worth backing. All right, but that's going to be it for me on this one. You guys have plenty of days. They're doing a 30-day campaign, so you got more than enough time to back it if you want to. If you need a payday in between or whatever, you got plenty of time. You can, hit the notification on this one, come back to it later, but definitely one worth backing. See if we can unlock some more stretch goals. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I'll catch you in the next one.